Yesterday I was one of just a handful of journalists fortunate enough to be given the chance to play the redesigned Ailsa course at Turnberry for the first time the day before it opens for public play. Today I'm out here early in the morning the following day, and the weather, I can assure you, was just like this yesterday, albeit a touch less windy. I'm standing on the back 9th tee, and this hole has undergone a major transformation. This was a par 4 playing up to a kernstone in the fairway, a blind fairway, with a hog's back ridge, very difficult to actually keep the ball on the fairway. Now it's a long par 3. From here I think it's 242 yards across the corner of the rocky shoreline, and the hole really now does take full advantage of its spectacular location with a lighthouse behind as well. We played it from about 187 yesterday. It was playing about a 5-iron. From this tee, I doubt whether there's anything other than a driver that would get me there today. I'm going to have a go at that in a minute. It's into a bit of a breeze, and I don't think I can get there with 3-wood. Beyond here, the 10th now has a new back tee where again you'll be driving straight over the rocks, and the green has been pushed back to the left. That is really a dramatic hole now, hugging the shoreline all the way down to the green. The donut bunker, the famous donut bunker that had that clinical neat finish, that's been completely transformed. That's now a rough-edged bunker, much bigger, and indeed Martin Ebert, who carried out the design work here, showed us photos of that bunker looking much more like it does again now than how it had come to look for the last Open. Beyond that, the 11th now again takes full advantage of the dramatic rocky shoreline. You're playing across the shoreline there. It's not quite as long as the 9th, although it can stretch to over 200 off the back tees, I believe. We played it at about 175, and I had the slightly unusual scenario around the turn yesterday of eagling the 10th in a slightly smugger way. I would say that is almost certainly the first eagle on the redesigned 10th at Turnberry. I then followed it up on the par 3 11th with the 6, having lost a ball in the jungle on the right. Now, the other changes to the course that really struck me right from the outset, the first is now a much better golf hole. It shapes round to the right, it's got more of an angle to it. It used to be a fairly straight, relatively flat, uninspiring hole, if I dare say that about Turnberry. Now the green has been pushed back much further right, lots more going on, and a much tougher test, especially off the back tees where it's something like 430, 440 yards now. The 4th is then another one that's undergone a lot of change. The green has been pushed back, the hole is now a lot longer than it used to be. I have to say I actually used to like the old 4th, with the green kind of cut into the shelf there by the tall dune. But it is much better now visually. In front of the tee there's a large sandy waste area, probably about 100 yards in length, looks like a big bunker, but actually just really enhances the whole visuals of the hole. The other par 3 going out, the 6th, used to be a long brute of a hole, 230, maybe 240 yards, I can't quite remember. That's actually been reduced. That's quite an interesting move in these times of ever increasing length. That is now a short par 3 of some 150, 160 yards. We played at about 140 yesterday, and it's actually quite a large green as well for such a relatively modest par 3 by today's standards. But if you miss the green, there are slopes and bunkers and runoffs all around. There's a very deep bunker front right, and in fact anything not quite making it all the way has a very good chance of rolling back into that bunker. Elsewhere on the back 9, the 14th is the hole that has changed the most. That now plays to a different fairway. The fairway was away to the left and not really taking full advantage of the lighthouse on the skyline there. It's also become a par 5 and now makes much better use of the lighthouse as you play up. And then the final major changes to the 18th, you may remember, it used to be a dogleg left where players generally couldn't hit driver, anything like driver, off the tee. Now, because of the changes to the 6th, they've been able to move a tee right back up onto the dunes. The back tee is very close to the coastline. We played a little forward of that, but you're now playing a straight golf hole. In fact, from the back right tee, it almost looked like it went slightly the other way now. And you're playing straight towards the magnificent Turnberry Hotel. And now a course that already was riding high in the rankings is set to possibly ride even higher, although there's not a lot of places for it to go in the Golf Monthly rankings, 4th at the moment, so there's not a lot of room for movement there. But what was already a fantastic golfing experience has been turned into something truly magical.